Let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer on mastering Amazon's minimum inventory level. We've got a lot of critical ground to cover today on how to protect your margins and really scale those FBA sales.
Okay, I want you to think about this number for a second. 15%. Actually, scratch that. Let me rephrase, because this isn't just some random projection or a best guess estimate. This is a hard, proven metric straight from Amazon. Sellers who maintain Amazon's target inventory metric, keeping units right above that minimum recommended level, they see an average 15% increase in sales over a 4-week period. It's wild. By feeding the algorithm exactly what it wants, your products physically get placed closer to customers. That unlocks those lightning-fast delivery speeds, and boom, your conversion rates go way up. This is how you stay ahead of the curve.
But, well, there's always a but, right? Are you bleeding profits to Amazon's new fees? Listen, the reality of e-commerce today is that the old way of managing inventory is completely dead. You absolutely cannot just send in a massive container of stock, cross your fingers, and forget about it. And you definitely can't starve your inventory levels just to save a few bucks on storage. Amazon has rolled out these incredibly complex new fees that basically act like a tax on inefficiency. Because, of course they have. If we aren't paying close attention, these new fees are literally going to eat directly into your hard-earned margins before you even realize what hit you.
Right, so let's set our baseline here. What exactly is the minimum inventory level? Essentially, it's a machine learning metric. It recommends the absolute minimum number of units for each specific FNSKU, your unique product barcode, that you need to hold inside Amazon's fulfillment centers. Honestly, think of it as Amazon's algorithmic cheat code. If you hit this minimum, the system has enough stock to distribute your items regionally across the map. That means you get those one-day and same-day delivery promises for your buyers, which, as we all know, is exactly how you win the buy box.
So you might be wondering, how is that magic number even calculated? It's definitely not just a static guess. The machine learning algorithm works by constantly crunching 4 main inputs. First up, demand forecasts, so it's actively analyzing your historical sales data. Second, replenishment frequency, like how often you're actually sending inventory in. Third, seller lead times, meaning the exact duration from when you create a shipment to when it's fully received. And finally, real-time regional demand. It's a completely dynamic system calculating exactly how much stock is needed to place products practically next door to your customers across the entire fulfillment network.
Now, if you pop into your Seller Central dashboard, you'll see Amazon grades your inventory into one of 4 statuses. You've got out of stock, which obviously means your sellable inventory is at 0, low stock, meaning you've fallen below the minimum level, and excess, where you're just paying totally unnecessary storage costs. But then there is healthy. Maintaining that perfect healthy status where your sellable inventory is sitting right at the optimal level is the promised land. It is absolutely crucial. It's the key to unlocking that 15% sales boost we talked about earlier.
But here is where the real villain of our story enters the chat. What is the dreaded 28-day inventory trap? So, Amazon updated its fee structure to heavily penalize sellers who carry low inventory relative to their actual unit sales. Because low inventory inhibits Amazon's ability to distribute products locally, they now charge you extra for making their logistics network work harder.
And the absolute crucial tipping point here is the number 28. If your historical days of supply dip below 28 days, which is roughly, 4 weeks of cover, you are instantly caught in a trap. Amazon will start slapping a per-unit penalty fee on every single item you ship. Picture a little stickman animation trying to balance a heavy scale. You have to keep the weight of your supply above that 28-day line at all times. Because of the scale tips, those penalty fees drop right on top of you.
Now, don't panic if you have a massive sudden spike in sales. The math here is actually pretty specific. Amazon looks at 2 different windows: your short-term supply over the last 30 days and your long-term supply over the last 90 days. Get this, you are only charged the low inventory level fee if both of these metrics fall below 28 days. So if a viral TikTok video completely clears you out over a weekend, your short-term supply might dip way below 28, sure, but as long as your 90-day average is still healthy, you dodge the fee entirely.
Okay, let's bring out the notebook scribbles and drop the hard numbers. How much is this actually going to cost you? For a small standard item up to 16 ounces, that is 63 cents per unit. For a large standard item up to 3 pounds, 70 cents. And for large standard items between 3 and 20 pounds, you are paying a very painful 87 cents per unit. Think about that for a second. If you're moving a high volume of standard goods, losing nearly $1 per unit directly off your net profit, well, that can completely wipe out your bottom line.
Let's visualize what this actually does to your profitability.
Say you have a large standard item that usually costs you $3.95 to fulfill when your inventory is sitting pretty in the healthy zone. If you dip into that low inventory trap, Amazon tacks on a 36-cent penalty based on the tier. Suddenly, your fulfillment cost balloons to $4.31. Every single time a customer clicks buy, you are just handing Amazon extra money that should have been in your pocket. No way around it.
But the pain doesn't just stop at per-unit fees. It triggers this massive domino effect across your entire account health, specifically your Inventory Performance Index or IPI score. Managing minimum inventory isn't just about avoiding single-item penalties anymore. It literally dictates your massive account-level standing. Amazon's system is highly interconnected now, and getting your inventory levels wrong here cascades through your entire business.
There is one number that acts as your absolute threshold for survival: 450. You must maintain an IPI score of 450 or above. If your score drops below this magic number, Amazon places severe storage limits on your account. Imagine the absolute nightmare of hitting Q4 and literally not being allowed to send in enough stock to cover your holiday peak sales. It is every seller's worst fear. And worse, if you're holding excess stock while your score is below 450, you'll get hit with overage fees that can easily run into thousands of dollars a month.
So how exactly is that IPI score built? When you look under the hood, you have your sell-through rate, your stranded inventory, and your in-stock rate. But the massive chunk dragging most sellers down, accounting for a whopping 40% of the entire calculation, is excess inventory. If you have products just sitting around with more than 90 days of supply, they're acting like a giant lead anchor dragging down your IPI score.
Okay, take a deep breath. We've identified the traps, we know how the algorithms work, and we've seen the painful fees. Now let's shift gears from the problem to the solution. Here is your action plan to secure your margins. We are going to implement a system to hack this dynamic, stay totally out of the penalty zones, and guarantee that your inventory remains in the healthy status all year round.
So here is your step-by-step checklist. First, audit your top SKUs by revenue and make absolutely sure their physical dimensions and weights are optimized. Please, don't pay for a larger size tier than you actually need. Second, vigorously clear out excess and stranded stock weekly. Honestly, run a 10% discount if you have to. Just get it out of there to protect your IPI. Third, and this is a huge one, utilize AWD, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. If 70% or more of your inventory is auto-replenished through AWD over the last 90 days, Amazon waives the low inventory level fee entirely. Since Amazon is the one managing the levels through their AWD network, you bypass the penalty. It's a total game changer.
While I was digging into the source material for this explainer, I actually found an incredible insider tip regarding inbound shipments. When you send an inventory in, Amazon asks how you want it placed, right? Well, the default is Amazon Optimized, which is super convenient because you ship to just one warehouse. But it costs around 89 cents per unit. If you simply go in and change that setting to Minimal Shipment Splits, you'll ship to maybe 3 or 4 warehouses instead, but your cost drops all the way down to about 47 cents a unit.
Let's do the math on that real quick. If you are a seller moving 1,000 standard units a month, paying 89 cents a unit costs you $890. Using minimal shipment splits at 47 cents a unit, that costs you $470. You are netting over $400 in savings every single month, which translates to $5,040 saved annually. That is $5 grand straight back into your pocket, literally just by unchecking the default optimization box. Insane, right?
We've definitely covered a lot of ground today, from the 28-day supply trap to IPI scores and shipment splitting. The rules of the game have undeniably changed, and the stakes are incredibly high right now. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Will you let Amazon's algorithms eat your profit, or will you master them? It is time to open up Seller Central and take back control. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep optimizing, and I'll see you next time.